So yeah.
All
Okay.
right, so we are here with Lottie, and I'm here with Kevin, and we are super, 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 super excited because you are our first international podcast guest. Sorry, I really
Oh
had to
wow,
get that out of my system.
honored. So,
So are we, believe me, it is awesome to have you with us.
well, it's
Okay,
always
Everybody
nice
get
to
comfortable.
branch out.
what's that? I'm sorry.
It's always nice to branch out,
Oh,
you know,
yes,
and
absolutely.
see what uh, because as big as the paranormal is, it's actually still a really, really small community. So it's always nice to reach out to other countries as well. Like in Denmark, where I'm from, there's practically nothing. Like we don't have organized events where you can sort of go on a ghost hunt. It's more, hey, let's investigate this abandoned building and hope we don't get caught for trespassing.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So coming to the UK, I didn't even know it was a thing until my wonderful husband said, "Oh, by the way, I booked a ghost hunt in the Hellfire Caves up in High Wycombe." And I was like, "You did what now?" "Yes, I booked a ghost hunt." "Oh, okay. I, cool, I guess. Let's see what this is about." And there's like, "Oh, it's with this company called Most Haunted." And I was like, "Okay." And they are. Um, so then I tried to watch some episodes, but I quickly got fed up with it. I think one of the things that I don't like about the paranormal is the, "Oh, I'm possessed. No, I'm possessed. I'm the most possessed." Like, none of you are possessed, darling.
Mhm.
It's
I,
just. And then you were sort of like, yeah, okay. I can see the wire. So why are you saying it's not there? So when it's that, but there are legitimately, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember it. It was a program called MTV Sphere.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, Essentially, the program layout was very simple. You get a group of 6 to 7 random strangers, 18 to 25. You drop them off in a supposedly haunted location. Some of them were genuinely haunted, and it is on my bucket list if I ever go back to the US. I really want to go to Western and Eastern State Penn,
Mhm.
Okay.
for instance. They're on my bucket list to go. So yeah, they had to spend 48 hours to determine whether it was haunted or not. But most of it was mind games. I mean, I haven't been to the location, so I don't know if it's haunted or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still an interesting. I think it was an interesting perimeter to set up a TV show about.
Yeah, that would
Um,
be neat to just be put in a random spot like that. That'd be cool to be.
I mean, the team I go with, so I go with two teams. One is called Paranormal Presence, the other is called Haunted Shadows. We always go in blind, and we do tell our whether we host an event for guests or we just do it as a group. We always go in blind. So when I go to a place, I don't know anything about the history. I don't know anything about the hauntings, but I will spot immediately if it's haunted or not because I'm sensitive. And then I sort of work from there. But either which way, some of these buildings are amazing because there's just the sheer history of the place. And then when you actually get something, that's when the amazing thing starts to happen.
I agree with that very much. So what got you into ghost hunting in a general sense? Was it just your husband scheduling that first group tour, or have you always had an interest in it?
I mean, I've always had an interest in it because since I was little, I've been sensitive. Um, we call them imaginary friends. So a lot of children are sensitive, but
Mm-hmm.
because they're not always aware of what it is, it'll just be imaginary play friends. And reality is based on perception. So the reality you experience is based on your actual life experience. So even though we live in the same reality, we will experience it differently because we have a different set of values, a different set of experiences, and a different set of eyes. And when you don't have the cognitive ability to process what this might be, then it will just be an imaginary playmate. And then as I got older, I met this fantastic woman who became my mentor, who told me what it really was. And then I sort of started honing in on it. And I got really interested in it because I've always been fascinated with what comes after. I think that started when I was 11, my father got shot. And it was a wrong place, wrong time. He was working behind a counter, and someone who wanted to do a robbery shot him.
I'm sorry to
And
hear
I
that.
think it was 30 years ago, the 12th of October. So it still hurts to this day. So there's trauma that you don't actually recover from. But I think that's when I got actively into it and reading about it. And I tried reaching out to him, found out why I couldn't reach out to him because he's gone where he's meant to be. So I found closure, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you do still wonder. And I've sat with people when my grandfather died. I sat with him and watched him expire. And that was just, it sounds morbid, but it was a beautiful experience. Just to see how you could sort of follow how the life went out. And it was just when it reached the head finally, it was just this explosion of colors. And then all of a sudden there was just an empty shell. And then you sort of knew. I mean, obviously no doctor degree, so I couldn't say he's dead officially. But you know. You know when you see it. Because there's just a thing, a light that I believe, this is just my belief, but when we come into this world, we are given a little piece of light. Some people call it the soul. I call it our light. That's essentially our life essence. And that energy merges with the other energy around us when our vessel gives up. So we're essentially just energy particles. And scientifically, it has proven that energy can't be created out of nowhere nor destroyed. So essentially, that's all we are, energy particles. And sometimes ghost equipment or ourselves can tap into that energy and help it reform. So that could be one explanation.
You are a fascinating person. I love how you just went into all of that. That is incredible. That was just something that just kept going through my head. Man, this woman is awesome.
Well, it does because I'm a bit of a strange one. A lovable little unicorn with a dark sense of humor, a very morbid sense of humor, which has gotten me in trouble quite a few times. Funny enough, I work in a Catholic school.
Oh my
So yeah,
goodness. That's a plot twist for sure.
I mean they've been very accepting of it and they think it's quite funny I do these things. But don't make suicide jokes because then the head of safeguarding wants a word with you and that's not fun. Yeah, I accidentally said, just for fun, I said, I'm not knocking therapy, but sometimes it's just cheaper, more convenient with a rope and a stool. And they did not find that funny at all, but I did.
You are definitely my type of person. I feel like I'm like mirrored right now.
And it was just the
Oh.
Does the
deadpan
church ever try
delivery.
to, does the church ever try to talk you out of it though, like paranormal side? Like as far as
Mm, I mean, I've had suicide attempt in the past, but either I am really, really thick or something doesn't want me to die just yet. Because even though it's been by the book, it's always gone. I'm still here. So I've just given up now.
question.
But I do know from what I've gathered that the ones that come through, they do regret it the minute they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But by then it's too late when it's successful, obviously.
Well, I, for one, am happy you're still here. And obviously you do have a purpose.
Yeah. Unfinished business.
Yeah. And it's also, it got me thinking in terms of the whole death and dying things. It was an interesting theory that was brought to life by a man called Taliesin Jaffe, who I'm a big fan of. And it's a theory that I've heard of it and I've worked with it. Essentially, there are 3 deaths, so we die thrice. The first death we have is when our physical body ceases to exist. The second death we have is when everyone who once knew us is gone as well. And the third and final death is when everyone stops saying our name. So when no one says your name anymore, you're gone for good. So I think that also explains my fascination with these paranormal events, like reaching out to forgotten souls and just, going to a cemetery, placing a flower, reading the name on the tombstone just to say you are not forgotten if you are still here. And that's what fascinates me.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go back to you are such a fascinating person. Oh my
really
goodness.
deep.
Just your thought process is just like so unique compared, well, I mean, at least to me.
Okay. My question is there cannabis in what you're smoking right now?
No, that's a vape. That's a vape.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no, it's a vape.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sort of trying to quit the cigarettes,
Yeah, yeah.
which is obviously not working. So,
Do you
so
recall
yeah.
do you recall I have lots of questions. I'm just going to throw some at you. Do you
All right.
recall your childhood invisible friend? Like you said,
Yes,
you suggest does he still visit with you, him or her?
him. Yeah, but
Uh,
now that I know who he is, I can sort of work with him. So when I grew up, one of my favorite characters was a sheriff horse called Quick Draw McGaw.
okay.
So he would come to me in that form. So we would play all sorts of games and talk. And one day he just vanished, and in his place was this older gentleman of German descent. And so from when I've tried to contact him, what I gather is that everyone has a guardian angel that sort of watches over us.
That was my next question.
So everyone has that. So when you're born, someone is assigned to you. Sometimes it will be a loved one. Sometimes it will be just at random. But their job is to keep your light safe.
I guess, I mean, you kind of, oh, go ahead.
So he's usually, when I ask for spiritual advice, he's the one I go to. And some people may say, oh, it's just you're arguing with yourself, you're talking to yourself, it's your subconscious that is giving these answers. And it can be both. As I said, reality is a matter of perception. But from what I've seen and what I've experienced, and having had conversations with my subconscious as well, I do believe that he is there and he is helping me out.
Absolutely. So I guess, my question would have been, do you think that um, imaginary friends are your spirit guides? Because ironically, our stories are very similar with that. Mine
Yeah.
is Jody. I
Oh.
embarrassed the ever living crap out of my mother when I was a kid because she closed the bank door on Jody's arm and I screamed bloody murder in the middle of the bank. So as I got older, he disappeared. However, my siblings, they saw him and they kept saying that there was a black man in my closet. And randomly one day, my brother, I think it was, he was like, well, his name's Jody. And my jaw just about hit the floor because I remembered Jody. He was my imaginary friend. So I absolutely have thought that he's been my spirit guide since I was a kid because he's stuck around.
Yeah, and they will. We might not be. See, the thing is, and that's again where society comes in. Again, these are just my beliefs. There is some scientific principles that back it up. But when we're kids, we don't have filters or barriers. But as we grow, we are sort of forced into this consensus of what society should look like, which means that as adults, we try to rationalize and explain everything. So everything that's creative, the artist, whether it be musicians, tattoo artists, painters, sort of that creativity and freedom gets abandoned for a more academic, enlightened society. And some people never lose that ability. It's just dormant. So when you go on ghost hunts, even though you can say, well, I'm not spiritual, I'm a skeptic. Yeah, but explain those goosebumps on your arm. Why all of a sudden did you feel cold in a scorching hot room? So everyone has the capability to do this. It's just whether or not you're willing to listen.
100%.
But
Sounds
you
like a
lose that
me.
as you grow up. I mean,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
41. I'm 41 years old, so I've been around. I've had a very interesting life. I've seen the best in life. I've seen the worst in life. And one thing I've noticed is that no matter where you go, there will always be a sense of conformity. Like we want that conformity. We want to assimilate into the society we're in because we are group animal. We are herd animals. We need safety in the group. And if you stick out from the group, then you become problematic and you become vulnerable. Or a ghost hunter.
Mhm.
Either way, that's where the heart of your tribe is.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you want to say you're saying there?
I got a question for you. It's a pretty simple. There's like four choices: A, B, or C, or D. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if
yeah,
you have children or not. You seem very
I
intelligent, so I'm going to ask you this question. Okay.
yeah.
Especially probably over there too. They have the same thing in America. Okay. There's the sheep. There's the sheepdog. There's the shepherd and the wolf. Which one are you? They all have their jobs to do. The
I'm
sheep.
probably more. I'm probably more the sheepdog.
Okay. You look over the
I
flock and
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I don't have children on my own, but
Hmm.
I will say between 8:30 and 3:15, my students, they are my flock, and I will go to hell and back to protect them. Like no one
Yeah.
messes with crook students. You can come
I
for
get
me,
that.
that's fine. Don't care. Do not come for my students. Do not come for my family. Do not come for my friends. You will not like it.
Okay. That's a good answer. It's good.
So I've always been the voice of reason for some reason as well. I will always be the one that's like, hey, come on, let's be quiet now. Let's just take a breath. And my husband, for instance, is he's a skeptic on the fence because he's seen things. Well, living with me will do that to you, I guess. He's seen things he can't explain, so he is not a total non-believer, but he's not fully ready to be a 100% believer. And I think when you go into, if you want to become a ghost hunter, you need a healthy dose of skepticism.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I always tell our guests or people I'm with, ghosts should be the very last explanation you go to.
Yep.
Always try and see what could have caused this. So when you go into a building, you sort of just sit and listen. It may seem boring, but if you just listen to the building, every creak, every whisper, what can you hear or what can't you hear? And that's your baseline. And anything other than that is when the investigation begins. And you can sort of start to differentiate which is part of the normal and which is the paranormal or the abnormal. So don't just jump, oh, it's a ghost, because you will see ghosts everywhere. And believe me, I have seen people do that. Oh, sorry, it's a bit cold outside. I don't know what the weather's like where you are at, but here it's a wee bit nippy.
Yesterday was a little chilly. Today is a little bit on the warmer side, but a little chilly.
Well, I guess that's fall for you, or autumn.
Yeah.
As we
Yeah.
call it over here. So, but yeah, a healthy dose of skepticism is always the best.
Agreed.
Do you have a favorite location that you like to that you frequent a few times and
That would be the ancient ramen. It's it's located in Walton on Edge. It's, I think, 400 years old. It's very infamous in the UK. But what an amazing building. Wow. Activity there is insane. So first time we were there, we stood in a circle, and I was sort of stood in the doorway because I'm dumb enough to say, okay, I'll do that.
Mhm.
And as I was standing in the door, I felt this cold wind flew past my face, and then someone just whispered a very rude word in my ear, and I was like, ooh, what was this? And then they told me what it meant, and I was like, excuse you, language. And the funny part is, I didn't really think anything of it, but the second time I went there, I set foot in the barn, and that same growly voice said, you. And I was like, uh-huh, I'm back. Hello. Lovely to meet you, I think. So that's just phenomenal in terms of activity. So I highly recommend that. Shrewsbury Prison is also one of my favorites. Shepton Mallet is good as well. So we have a lot of really, really good hotspots here. To visit. 30 East Drive I've heard of, but I'm nah. People from my team have gone there and they've said no. It's not as interesting. But it also depends on the group you're with. Because when you are dealing in the spirit world, it's the same as dealing with normal people. No one wants to talk to a Debbie Downer. No one wants to talk to a rude person. So the more you engage, then the more you're likely to receive. So if you just sit in a corner like, then the ghost or spirits are going to be like, I don't want to talk to you either. And so essentially just treat every place you go to, treat it with respect, and you will get great results. It also depends on what equipment you use. So I'm beginning to embrace the tech, but usually I'll have the cat balls because I can't really argue with them. My dowsing rods, and of course myself and the Ouija board are my favorite to go to. And also something called the human pendulum, which is very, very weird. I don't know, do you do experiments like that as well?
So yes, I use dowsing rods quite frequently now. I didn't really delve into them too much until, I don't know, 6 months ago maybe, when I randomly was doing a session with dowsing rods and I got them to move in opposite directions and work on command, which I still have yet to see anybody be able to get them moving as much as I've been able to do.
Mine mine move like crazy. I mean, I use them to find everything. Water, spirits, bearded dragons. Um, I have a bearded dragon at home, Jupe Jupe, and sometimes he will free roam, and I will sort of lose track of him. So I'll take out my dowsing rods and it's like, where's Joop Joop? Where's my dragon? Where's my stupid dragon? And then eventually I will find him with the rods because they will cross. And so when my rods cross, I'm like, oh, there's Joop Joop.
I haven't done that quite yet. The human pendulum, though, I recently saw something that I did try in my own house because I just didn't think it was going to work. Is that where you kind of just like stand and then you think of a question or ask a question and your body goes either forward or backwards naturally?
So when we do it in groups. So we'll have one in the middle, and then everyone else will form a circle, A, to make sure that you catch the person, and B, to make sure there's no funny person or funny business. So I will usually be as a facilitate. When I'm hosting a ghost hunt, I don't participate. I'm just there to facilitate and make sure people have a good experience. So it's my job to guide and make sure everything is safe, everyone is protected. I will ask questions, and then we do it a bit differently. So we blindfold people and give them noise-canceling headphones, so that we eliminate the fact that they can hear us and then manipulate the answers. The downside to that is it is extra sensory deprivation, so your body will automatically overcompensate. So you will sway a bit more, and that could also mess with the results. So you'll never get 100% results, but it is pretty accurate. I think one time at Wookiee Hole Caves, I was just there as a guest, and I was in the middle of the human pendulum. I couldn't hear what they were asking, but apparently a lady's grandmother came through and gave precise questions with using me as yes or no. And we stopped the session because I just got this overwhelming sadness of sort of like melancholy and sadness. So there was tears down my face when I took the blindfold off. And I just looked at the lady and I said, your grandmother said something about a necklace. Do you have any idea what she's talking about? And she said, oh, I might have, but I'm not sure. And later on that evening, it turns out before we started the evening, I lost my wolf pendant, which contains my spirit wolf. And I was heartbroken because I couldn't find it. And my husband says, oh, we found your pendant. I was like, oh, thank you. Who found that? Oh, it was one of the other hosts. So I went to the other host and said, thank you for finding my pendant. And she was like, I didn't find it. One of the guests did. I said, say what? Yeah, a guest came and said she found his pendant. So I went to the lady with the grandmother and said, sorry, this might seem weird. Did you find this pendant? And she was like, oh, yeah, that's what I found on the road just before we came up. And that was the same lady with the grandmother.
That's pretty
So
cool. I have goosebumps.
that I can't explain because we were around 60 people at that location.
Oh, wow.
And of all the people, and I was able to pinpoint the pendant. And I've never met this woman in my life.
That's cool. That's
That was.
cool.
And again, I've seen the little cat balls go off, even when you put them on a stand. And it's like, okay, you should not be going off. So what I'll do, I'll usually jump around and wave around to see if I can affect it in any way. And most times I can't. And it'll go off on command. So it'll be certain trigger words, and all of a sudden cat ball will flash up like a Christmas tree, and you're like, oh, okay. So the human pendulum is good, but it is, again, sensory deprivation. So it is a really, really weird feeling. It's the same with the Estes method.
Like you're reading my mind.
I mean, I love the Estes. It does give me a bit of a headache though sometimes. But that's mainly because of the white noise, and sometimes karaoke radio comes through, and other times you will actually have something come through. And you could sort of differentiate the voices.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
I think that comes also from my background as being an English teacher and a singer, musician. So I differentiate voices easier, so I can easily hear what's being said. So you just pick it up more naturally because I listen for sound patterns. Whereas other people are like, I'm not hearing anything other than white noise. It's like, yeah, but are you listening? And they're like, yeah. Like, no, are you listening? Oh, try listen. So there are a multitude of ways you can go, but what cracks me up is people that are like, right, if you're here, can you make a sound? And then you will hear a sound, and then people start screaming and yelping. And I'm pretty sure that the ghost is like, you asked me to do this. What's your problem?
Yep.
It's like, what's the problem? I'm here. So that
Any of
always
those,
cracks.
no, I'm sorry. Any of those locations that you were talking about, your favorite one? And then say you got an upcoming event at one of those locations. Do you ever have dreams like the places like welcoming you back the same day of the event, the same night or the morning?
Um, I mean,
Do you
that's
have
how
a
we
connection
found
with it? That's what
at
I'm asking.
the ancient ramen. Yeah, I was dreaming about the location. I says, I don't know, but I have to go there. I need to do this. And I couldn't explain why, but I just saw it. So when we found out we could actually book it as a ghost hunt, we're like, we're doing this. The Jamaica Inn, I've seen in a dream when we went to Bodmin Moor. And all I was told in the dream was go to room 30, no, room 10, and ask, say you have an appointment with a man about a horse. I have no idea what it meant. But I did, and apparently it was connected to the stables that used to be there. So I was like, okay, cool, thank you. Can I have my cream tea now?
Mhm.
By the way, if you're ever in the UK, go to the Jamaican and have the cream tea. Perfect. It's perfection.
Got it. It is on my bucket list to get to the UK, so
We have some amazing venues, and everyone is really. There is a lot of bitchiness in the paranormal world, unfortunately, and the grapevine is ever so inaccurate. But just watch who you play in the sandbox with, and you'll be fine.
oh, absolutely. Oh, that's the same with here too, really.
Yeah, but what's the paranormal scene like in the UK, the US? I mean, you must have some really really fascinating buildings as well.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
We're in like Western New York, like Buffalo, Niagara Falls area and the surrounding suburbs, and we have some pretty haunted locations. Everybody always wants to say like the most haunted in New York State or the most haunted in the world. Everybody wants to take this title, and it's just like it's almost like a hit or miss. It's like one place the gears got to line up perfectly for the activity to come out. Um, some places you're going to get 5 minutes. Some places uh, there are haunted locations. I like to go to. We went to one last night, and it definitely is a haunted location. Every time I've been there, something paranormal has happened, where you can't debunk it, and um, you got this sixth sense of something behind you or something. Like I had yesterday, for me personally, I had my ears were ringing just for about 6 seconds, like somebody was trying to communicate with me and I couldn't hear them. So I heard it in my left ear and it was really loud, like somebody was trying to communicate with me. Um, to me, that's
It's
paranormal.
almost like tinnitus. That sound.
Hmm.
It was a soft hum and it went like to like on a scale of 1 to 10, it went to like 11. That like wanted to be. It was saying something I couldn't hear it. And
Yeah, that is a very common from what I've seen. I mean, I have done a lot of research in this and spoken to people. And ringing ears or tinnitus sound is usually because they're they're trying to communicate. But they affect people in various ways. So, for instance, I've learned to decipher, because I have been working in the spirit world for 24 years, that if it's a male presence, I go icy cold. But if it's a female presence, I'm sweating like a hooker in church. I mean, it can be Antarctica, and I will still be like, no, it's not. It's not perimenopause. It's generally. So that's how I differentiate, and it never ceases to fail. And then when we use the cat ball, say, "Are you a male spirit?" and it's like lights up. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then of course the Ouija board I'm on the fence with, especially in bigger groups because of the subconscious movements, and you sort of have to follow the planchette. But one thing, and I think that's why my spirit guide doesn't want me to use them, was I went on an Ouija session, and it just kept going to goodbye. It's like, no, we need to find a spirit that wants to talk. Goodbye. No, goodbye. And finally I asked, Albert, are you with me? And it went to yes. And it was like, right, can I please have a spirit come through? Goodbye. Okay, so I'm going to hop off the board, start the session again, and then it would work. So I don't know what his problem is, but it seems like every time I try, the board is not moving. Unless I use my own little cat board. I have a really cute little travel board that's pink with cats and flowers. Yeah. It's adorable, and it's more importantly, it's non-intimidating.
Hey,
So,
that's all right. If it works, it works.
I mean, one of the common things you get when you have guests that are new to paranormal experiences, everyone says, no, I don't want to go on the Ouija board. Why? Oh, because I might get a demon through or possessed. No. I mean, probably could happen, but we take precautions. And Ouija boards, yeah, they're essentially Facebook for ghosts. So, or Twitter for ghosts. Anything can come through, everything has an opinion. You don't know what you're going to get, like chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. But you can always say goodbye.
True.
And that's what I find. So it's just getting people into that comfortable space, especially when they're new to paranormal investigations. I always say, find what you like, try everything, pick your favorite, and then use that as your base.
Yeah.
That's what I find the easiest. But yeah, we all have different ways of doing it. But it's fun to see. It's fun to see people's reactions to it as well. Because they see, oh, it's like most haunted, or my house is haunted, my this is haunted, that is haunted, everything is haunted. Oh, why are they giving so much activity? And it's like, what you're seeing is 45 minutes out of maybe 48 hours of investigation.
Yeah.
So you can have 30 hours where absolutely nothing happens. But then in the last hour, it just goes off the rails. So it comes in waves. It's almost like the building or the place you're investigating. It's almost like it just needs that jump start, and then it takes a breath, and then it runs out of breath, and then it just needs to reset, and then it comes again. But what people see is 45 minutes of an edited longer session.
Yep.
So but oh my God, Niagara Falls, I can imagine there's going to be some great activity there with all the unfortunate circumstances. There's been...
The falls themselves definitely have some energy flowing through it, to say the very least.
I mean, it's massive.
Well, yeah.
I can only imagine how spectacular it must be to just stand and watch all that. That is raw, natural power. You can't contain it.
It's
And
definitely worth seeing if you've never seen it in person before.
I haven't, no, but I really want to see it. I love nature. It's where I do most of my my spiritual work. Um, so, and there's a difference between dealing with earthbound spirits, human spirits, ghosts, and entities or natural spirits. It's quite fascinating. So, I mean, again, this is everyone's belief. So, because I am not of the Christian faith, I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in heaven and hell. So, the cross, crucifix, has no protecting value for me. Christian prayers have no value for me because they're not going to work because I'm not of the faith. So, I don't believe in demonic possession. I do believe in oppression, where if you are open long enough, then yeah, you will be affected by it. But that again could also be because you're in adrenaline mode. Um, so that's why when I see these demon hunters, oh my god, there's something demonic here. There's something dark, yes, or low energy, but it's not something that's overly concerning. I usually say, if I run, you run, and please outrun me. I mean, I have not yet faced anything I couldn't deal with, but you never know. I mean, no, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so it might be. But yeah, we'll see. One hunt at a time. One hunt at a time.
Yes.
I have
Um,
a question. You were saying about your husband he didn't fully believe. Is there any time where you have seen, like, say, an apparition, or you see energy and then he can't see it, though you can see it, but he can't? Have you
yes.
ever at the same time?
Oh yeah. All the time. I'm like, oh my god, babe, look there. And he's like, where? Right there. Huh? Get it. No, no, no. What did you see? I don't care. It doesn't matter. But sometimes he will see something he can't explain. He's seen lights. I sent him on a meditative spiritual journey. So that's a when it's done correctly and safely guided, that is a really good way to open up to the place, to go to it's a spiritual safe haven. So the guided meditation is I take you to that safe space, and you will then have a little time to communicate with whichever wishes to come through. And then you sort of come back into your own space, and then we share experiences. And it is fascinating to hear who people saw. Um, and that actually did work for my husband, which he was really, really surprised about because he didn't think that was possible.
That is
So,
cool.
and he has said something like where he thought he's seen something, but he wasn't really sure. But he's an IT technician, so he knows his technology. So he will look at videos and images and can sort of see, is this genuine? What could this be? And he will always try and debunk it. I'm technologically challenged, so I mean, some people, some pictures, yeah, that's a fake, but others I can't determine whether it's a genuine face or if it's just my subconscious that's trying to put patterns together because of the recognition system. But I think whether or not you believe, there are things that can't be explained. Hint dependent. I mean, of all the
Absolutely.
60 people. And it's just a matter of, I mean, I love my team. My team is fantastic because we have such a good energy together. We just vibe off each other. And we're equally we have the same sense of humor, which is scary. Uh, but we just work for some reason. So I know that every time, even if we have a quiet night, we still have fun, and it was still a great time. We went to a place called the Nunnery, which is an amazing building. They still have remnants of the original chapel there that's undergone renovations, but they couldn't afford it. And there was activity, but it was just the experience of standing in that building, like feeling the history. That was just amazing. And I get to do this with genuinely nice people. It's a privilege. And I encourage more people to go ghost hunting because it is really a bonding experience and you get to go to so many amazing places. I mean,
Absolutely.
we get to run around in a prison, a museum without the public. We have that place all to ourselves. That's a privilege.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's an amazing privilege. So very lucky that these things exist in the UK.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But what got you into the paranormal?
Go ahead, Ted.
So as I mentioned or a little earlier, I've always been able to see spirits. So
Yeah.
I've always had a fascination with it. Um, I'm, I mean, now that I'm doing this a little bit more, I wonder if it is kind of me. But I think every house that I've ever lived in has been haunted in one way or another. Whether it's been one spirit, multiple spirits. I mean, I've seen things all over the place. Um, not every house I've ever been in, I'm not going to say is haunted. I will say that. Or every location that I've been to isn't haunted, but there's definitely been houses that I've been in that paranormal activity has been very prevalent in. And from there, I've kind of piqued an interest in it, and it's kind of followed me through adulthood and finding the people that match my thought process or match my beliefs. It seems to all be the same kind of people, which are my paranormal people. That's how it,
Weirdos.
I wasn't gonna take it from yeah, I mean, we say that we're weirdos because I mean, I've always been kind of the outcast, I was always the one that always thought outside the box. And I feel, and I had this conversation with Kevin and another person that I work with. I feel like a lot of people believe in the paranormal, but it's so hushed upon that you never know because you're so scared to talk about it with other people openly. But now, since I've gone on this journey with Kevin and actually gotten our team together and doing these podcasts and things, I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, you either believe or you don't. So like, if you think I'm crazy to you. It doesn't matter to me. I know what I know and I know what I believe. So that's what kind of got me started with it.
Yeah, and that's why I hate the term medium because it is used and abused. My abilities is not something that I profit from. And if people say, "Oh, can you contact this and this person for me?" and I'm like, "What do I look like? The phone company?" It's not like you can ring and say, "Hi, excuse me, can I please speak to this and this?" No, after 10, thank you, bye. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
They have to reach out as well. And I can say I can try reaching out, and maybe I'll get answers right here, right now, or sometimes I'll get an answer at 2:30 in the morning, or in
Yeah.
the middle of the afternoon when I'm teaching a lesson, where I'll just have like teaching, and like, uh-oh, not now, of all the time. Now you decide to come through. No.
Can you see auras and other people's guardians with them or spirit guides?
If
Are
they
you
let
able to?
themselves be known, yeah.
Okay.
But again, they have to want to be seen.
Yeah.
The weird thing, the way I see I see people in color, like the colors. So everywhere I look, people have different colors about them that sort of like changes and interchanges.
Hmm.
And that usually gives me a pretty good idea of what kind of person they are and whether it's something I like or whether it's something I'm worried about.
Mhm.
And some people will have a really, really strong aura about them, or a high energy field, and others will have a very closed energy field. And sometimes it'll be low energy. And if I sense the low energy, then that's usually the people that I try to avoid.
Mhm.
I will still
Okay.
shake their hand because that's when I get confirmation. You can tell a lot of people, you can tell about anything about a person from a handshake. You can tell
You're a
what
better
kind of
person
person
than
they are.
I.
Mhm.
I won't even, if I'm not feeling it, I don't even, nope, that's it.
I mean, so we were privileged enough to meet the mayor of Hillingdon who was visiting. And I've shaken hands with a few politicians, and every time I've shook hands with a politician, I've always been like, ugh, ugh. But this good, it was a nice, firm handshake, really, really kind handshake. And I was like, hey, I think I could actually empathize with this guy. That's the first politician I've ever had that with. It's like, hey, this was a good handshake. So that's
I got a good
usually,
one for you. With you
yeah.
being in a different country, I ask people in this country. So I'm going to give you a scenario, well, a question more or less. It's a scenario that occurred with me. Are you, I won't say talented enough because that's not the right question. Are you able to bring a spirit through to show, say, to your husband? Are you able to persuade the ghost or spirit or energy or whatever you want to call it to reveal itself to somebody in a certain way? Like in my instance, the ghost showed themselves as an orb, and it was a dancing orb. Um, they did they did some hand movements. They talked. I heard the supposedly earth language. I'm not sure if you ever heard that phrase before. It's like they asked the spirit to show themselves to me.
I
And
have done on occasion, yeah. It takes a lot of energy and it doesn't always work. So as I say, I don't give guarantees,
yeah,
but I can encourage, but it's also you have to reach out and show your willingness to it. And usually they will come when you are between the stages of your second REM cycle, where just when you're about to go into the deep sleep mode is when you're actually most susceptible to it, if that makes sense.
A lot of
So
sense.
when um I mean, I don't even know how to explain it because it was so freaking weird. Um, my friend called me from Denmark. She recently lost her friend. I said, "Oh my God, you're not gonna." So she asked me if I could reach out to him and give him a message. I said, "I can certainly try, but hey oh." And she called me and says, "Oh my God, you're never gonna believe what happened." I said, "Probably, but go on." And said, I had a dream about my friend and he came to me and he was happy. Okay, good, great. So I essentially went to my altar, prepared my herbs, prepared my offering, and said, I'm calling out to the universe, give a sign that you're here. But it's not always, I mean, sometimes it'll be the subtle things. I had a very, very dear friend who unfortunately passed in a house fire. And I couldn't go to the funeral because he was in Denmark, I was in the UK. And I knew him from a theater workshop. He played a fox in a version of Pinocchio. And at that moment, I was just thinking of him and I missed him so much. And then so we live in a flat in London currently. I went down to have a smoke. And then this little fox, probably a young one, came up to me and just stopped and looked at me. And we were centimeters from each other. And they just stood there and looked at me, and we had eye contact for probably only a few seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. And I just felt that that was my friend that came to say goodbye. I don't know why I felt that way, because usually when you see foxes in London, they sort of scoot away. But this one just came and just said, like, "Hmm?" And that was just amazing. When we're doing investigations, I do call out to the spirit and say, right, are we going to do this the hard way? And sometimes some things will happen. The guest will be like, oh my God, I'm feeling it. And said, okay, good, thank you. Now can you move to the next person, please? And sometimes they will. And that's usually when everyone's in a circle. So that's like, oh my God, I've gone really cold. Okay, great. And then, right, let's say, can you move around and manipulate someone else? And then someone will say, oh my God, now I'm cold. And now someone pulled my hair. And whether it's a mass suggestion of what I can see, it is not. There is actually an energy that's manipulating, that's intertwining with their energy, because as I say, it's energy. That's essentially all we are. And energy effect, when energy come into contact with each other, it innately will adapt and affect each other. But yeah, it's fascinating to see, actually.
Wow.
So
I mean,
we're talking about energy. I'm I'm cynical. Anyway, so yesterday while we were at the mansion it is haunted. I don't know how to explain this because the person that was talking, it was almost like he was talking directly to me, but it's almost as if people are drawn to me, and I don't know how to explain that. Do you get that feeling because you are intuitive?
yeah, and I think it's funny you said that you and I are probably very similar. Do people just come to you with their problems
All the time.
out of nowhere? Yeah. That's because of your energy. So with the trauma that lies in your past, you're probably also a wounded healer.
I've been
And
told that by another psychic, that I'm a healer.
but more importantly, there are different versions of healers. There's light healers, there's nature healers, and then there's the wounded healer. And their healing power comes from a wound that is so deep it'll never heal. But that wound and that trauma is what aids in the healing process and enables you to help someone else. If that makes sense.
Good. No, you're good.
It probably is, I mean, it makes sense to me.
It does to me. Believe me. Oh my God, I'm mind blown right now. With everything, not just that sentence, but just this whole conversation. Oh my gosh. Like everything came full circle in ways that I can't even explain to you. Like I wish I could.
My circle was yesterday. I used that a bunch of times yesterday.
Yeah, but I mean, the type of people come to you, and also because of our personality. So I've had random people come up to me and tell me about their problems, and I'm like, does this face say I care? But okay. And I was part of an acting company, and everyone sort of like, oh my God, did you hear? I was like, no. Oh my God, I got to tell you. No. Yeah, but you really don't need to tell me. And then they'll start telling me anyway, and they're like, oh my God, you can't say to anyone. And I'm just like, your secret is safe with my indifference, sweetheart. It's okay. And they're like, what do you mean by that? It means I really don't care what you just told me. I've forgotten it tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So that's always a good one when you experience that. Just say, your secret is safe with my indifference.
Oh, I'm gonna use that next time. Oh
And
my God.
It's also a good way to set boundaries. So it's about that it's subtle linguistics that you can use to sort of like assert assert your dominance and your boundaries. So instead of like if someone, for example, apologizes to you, instead of saying it's okay, just say thank you.
Oh, I do that all the time. Or I accept your apology. And they just go, what?
Oh, I don't even say I accept your apology. I just say thank you. I tell my students this all the time. They're like, "Oh, sorry, miss." And like, I don't care. Your apology means nothing to me. Show me, then I'll believe you.
Yeah.
I'm very cynical as well. It's like it's not what you say, it's what you do. You can talk till the cows come home, but if you can't back up your words, then what are you?
Yeah,
Are you sorry?
100%.
Or are you sorry you got caught? And
Absolutely.
that's also, I mean, you do see I've seen various peoples on in my line of work as well, and I went to this so-called medium, or they called themselves a medium, and it was very like a Kate Bush type of medium, with wild arms and I'm possessed. There's a spirit coming through, and you're like, yeah, like, oh my god, your name starts with L. Yeah, based on probably the fact I look my age, which at that time was 32, so I was born in 1984. And lo and behold, most Danish girls' name from 1984 to 1987 started with the letter L, most commonly Lotte or Charlotte. It's already there, you're narrowing it down.
Yeah, it's
And
fishing, essentially.
yeah, it's called cold reading. It's a fantastic
Mhm.
technique. But the funny part was there was actually a spirit in the room. And the spirit was just like, huh? It was like,
That's awesome that you picked up on it.
yeah. And I just looked at him and there was like, I see you, I see you. Okay, let's just see where this is going now. And it's like, yeah, you've experienced hardship in your life. I'm 30. Yeah, of course I have. Everyone has.
Mhm.
Yeah, was it heart disease? No. Okay, okay, no, 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 heart disease. It was right. Do you want me to give you a hand? Do you want me to tell you? No, no, I can get this. Right. I'm waiting. No? Thanks for playing. Um, it was fun though. It was really, really fun. It was a great experience. And this was before Google became really popular and social media. Because so you can't exactly Google things. Um,
Right.
but they were good at what they did. It was just not color me unimpressed. And that's again with the handshake as well. I got a really weird vibe of the handshake. But there
Right.
are people you are instantly drawn to and you're talking to them. So yeah, I have experienced that as well. And that's usually meaning you have to listen even harder when they do that and sort of read between the lines.
Right.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. I mean, even if you want to, because spirit guides can be tricky, so you really need to ask the right questions as well to get in tune with them and to help to get to know them and work with them.
Well, isn't that the truth?
So I mean, I also rely on spell work like when I found my spirit animal. That was through a meditation ritual. It was a really really powerful experience. Again with nature and there's just spirituality is just fantastic, and it's not just about cloaks and daggers and candles. It's
Yes.
sorry, yeah. There was just a shadow outside. That's all
Oh.
like darted past my windows. I was like, bat, owl. Oh no, our new house is haunted. By the previous owners. So until further notice, it looks like we'll be living in shared accommodation. I don't mind, they're lovely people. So
That's all that matters.
when we looked at the house, I was sort of like looking at the view and just minding my own business. And then I got like icy cold, and that's usually a sign that there's a male presence. And I just heard this gentle older gentleman's voice in my head says, enjoying the view. And I was like, yeah, it's quite nice. And then I realized my husband was in another room with the estate agent. I was like, uh-oh. Worst timing ever. No. Yeah, so then I used my dowsing rods to find out and sort of like channeling just to get a bit more clarity. And it turns out that the two lovely people who own the house are still here. So she died at home in the house and he died at a hospice, but he sort of came around to just be with her until she expired. And then they just haven't left. But they've agreed to all our redecorations. So at some point they will move on when I start to cleanse the house and set up my boundaries and my protective field. So I can actually guarantee like the dwellings that I have, for instance, in my flat in London, no paranormal gear will work because there are no spirits in that flat. They can't come in. I have sealed the hell out of it. And I'm gonna do the same here. It's like, excuse me, off limits. I need rest.
That's some heavy boundaries, though. That's awesome.
You have to. I mean, you hear stories all the time. Oh my God, last investigation, I took something home with me. It's like, well, that was bloody brilliant, wasn't it? Dum dum. You don't take your work home with you.
Right.
That's like you need to rest because it does take a lot out of you, not just because you're essentially flipping night and day, but also because you're tapping into your own energy. So they rely on your energy to come through. So the more energy you give them, the stronger they become. So naturally, you need to put in a lot of energy, and that drains you. And if you don't know how to refill your batteries, then you're just going to crash out. We refer to it over here as ghost hangovers. So you have a post-hunt hangover, where you're just crashing out on your bed and you just want to die. Like, ugh, life sucks. I want pancakes. I'm tired. But that's essentially because you use so much energy.
All right. Makes sense.
And it also depends on what energies you work with. So, for example, if you feel it from the side, usually the left side, that's your loved ones or friendly energies that try to come through. Lower energies or negative energies will actually try and come through the nape of your neck, where your weak point is. So a lot of people think it's the third eye, the forehead. It's actually the nape of the neck. That's your weak spot. So that's where they. So that's why it's good to just like close yourself off by taking your hand and just like rubbing it against your neck just to say nope. Sort of like having your back. But if it comes from the side, typically for me at least the left side, then I know it's friendly and it's a loved one. So just something to. So when you're going on your next investigation, try and see where does the energy come from? Where does it feel strongest? And that could be an indication of what it is. So that's just a way of tapping into it. If you want to explore that further.
No, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have to pay attention.
Like a swamp hag, anything to try to show her how it died, like something similar to you.
Okay, yeah. So we went to Hinsdale. It's the only house in our area that's ever been exorcised. The house itself, not like the people inside of it. It was the actual house. And they say that it failed, which something's in there. So the last time we were there, I'd call her the swamp hag. she came into my face. I was doing my version of like a light Estes session. I basically sensory deprivation is what I was doing. And I was getting these visions in my head, and then all of a sudden this girl was just in my face, like completely just like here. And she was able to manipulate my breathing. She drowned is ultimately what her passing was. But my breathing changed. Has that ever happened to you? Like where
Yes.
they showed you, like, or they made you feel how they felt?
Yeah, that happens all the time. It's known as a touch no. So when you touch objects or when you interact with them or they give you an indication, you will feel what they felt. So I have been into this was the place, so the top part of the building. You can only go up one at a time because it's not structurally sound for more people. But there was a great fire that was purchased, but we wasn't where people perished. We weren't told that. But as soon as I came up the ladder, I just couldn't breathe. Like I felt I was literally choking on smoke. And I figured, oh, I just went out for a smoke. Maybe it's just like some weird side effect. But no, it felt like there was a fire in my throat. I said, I have to go down. I have to sit down. And then it vanished. And then we found out that the upper floor is actually burned down.
Wow.
And when we did a sleepover at Ronnie Garth, we slept at the end of life care unit because it had beds with mattresses. And I just felt like something, hey, that's a luxury when you do sleepovers. And I just felt like my chest was tightening, almost like I was being strangled. And then I woke up. So I mean, it could have been sleep paralysis. Mm, never known that to happen before. The latest happened when I was going to sleep in my house of all places, and my legs got really cold, and all of a sudden I was in this deep swimming pool, and almost like cinematic, I could see my body laying in the water, but I sort of rose up, 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 up at this ginormous like skyscraper building, and then I woke up like drenched in sweat. And yeah, it was so that's the most unpleasant thing I've ever had happen to me. That was
Sounds
not fun at all.
awful.
That was not fun at all. I don't know whether it was accidental astral projection or what it was, but unpleasant it was for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to experience that.
That's why I also say if you do work in the spirit realm, so when people ask me to contact people or try to or do tarot readings, for instance, if I read tarot cards for people, I have to be in a good mindset. I have to have a balanced mind,
Mhm.
just to keep myself safe, but also to make sure that I don't overexert myself. Um, it's also known in autism as the spoon theory. So you only have a certain set of spoons in your drawer, and every action you take is a spoon. So let's say you wake up, that's one spoon. You brush your teeth, that's spoon number two. But the more things become a routine, the less spoons it requires. So with enough routine, morning ritual, bath, breakfast, toothbrush, that becomes one spoon. But if you give more spoons than you have, then you start to lose yourself. And that's when you can have like anxiety attacks and get overwhelmed. So always count your spoons before you start with the paranormal. So make sure you have enough spoons because you don't always regenerate all your spoons. Sometimes washing up is a process. Sometimes you will be lucky and all your spoons will be washed. Uh, you never know. That's what you have to feel within yourself. And once you've done it for a number of years, you sort of get more in tune with yourself. So it's not about being in tune with the spirit world, it's also being in tune with yourself and your own needs and boundaries and where your energy field lies and what you tap into.
I like that
And
analogy.
what?
I like that analogy.
It's always good, and it's not just for spiritualism. It goes for everyday life. Like no matter what, whether it's your job, it's your home life, it's your family, especially if you have a what's a nice way of putting it? A strained family relationship. Then again, you have to also really think, how many spoons am I willing to sacrifice for this? And will I have enough time to regenerate my spoons before the next event?
Are you reading
So
my
one,
energy?
a little bit, yeah.
Are you able to give readings over like a Zoom call? Can you pick up
Sometimes
people? Okay.
He's picking up
I,
on me pretty heavy.
I mean, it's just called being observant. I pick up everything.
Can you see
Uh,
any colors associated with her and I? Do we have any colors with us right now?
you just had a set of green lights going boink, boink, boink in the background.
There's an interstate behind us. I'm talking about our auras or what color. You said you could see colors on people. Can you see on
Yeah.
a Zoom call her and I?
The funny thing is, so Kevin, you're I mean, technically by the light you're obscured, but I still see your face clearly. Um, it's sort of a white, almost gray halo that sort of emanates from the crown of your head and goes outwards, but towards your throat and down your shoulders, it becomes sort of a more blue, purplish color. Um, and again, you're rainbow.
Oh,
I mean,
is
there's
that
there's
good?
yeah, that's good. That it just means that there's so the primary is red, so that's passion. Um, but there's also a hesitation. So that's the more lower energies that are sort of trying to butt into to your positive energy. So there is
Mm.
a constantly energy dispersion that's sort of trying to take over. But the energy between you, funny enough, is the interesting one. Because the bond is very strong. It is almost like family, but not by blood. But it's a chosen family. It's a kinship that goes deeper, and it's tied to not as a shared trauma as in you experience this at the same time, but it's similar experiences that ties your past together and intertwines with your present. And that's why you work. I take it you work together really, really well, and you have a really good, a balanced work relationship when you go on investigations. And I think that's due to the deep kinship you formed. I don't know if this
Oh,
makes sense. I don't
oh,
know if it
Makes
makes sense,
sense.
but
Absolutely.
I'm so
Absolutely.
glad you were in the car yesterday on the way home from our investigation.
So,
Oh my God.
so, so
You are,
out
no, you're incredible.
out of the two, just as far as color, what hers is better with the red and rainbow, and mine's just a
um,
little bit darker. Or just out of
no,
curiosity.
it's not darker. So white energy is usually a sign of a transcendence. So you're starting to become more in tune with yourself and having confidence in what you're seeing and what you're experiencing and owning in on those abilities. And
Yeah.
that's also with the positive association. So the white energy is sort of the protective energy that so you're very protective of your pack and always want to look after. So rainbow just means that you're a very bubbly, vibrant, happy person.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, thank you.
so and white
Very
is the
cool.
pure
Very cool.
energy.
Oh,
That was awesome.
you. Oh my Lord.
That's awesome.
You looking for best friends? Because oh my gosh, no, we literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say we literally had that conversation yesterday. Like we've known each other for years, but our friendship has just gotten so much closer over the last few years. And we were talking about basically going through the same thing just in a different way yesterday. So the fact that you
Hmm.
said that, it just freaking blew my mind.
I mean, it's just what I see. It's just the way my mind works. And
Well, it works quite
and
well.
there was those green lights going boing, boing, boing again. Not like a car, but it was going like up, down, up, down, up, down.
Interesting. That's
Hmm. You'll have to play back the recording to see.
yeah, I'll have to really pay attention to see if I can see it.
So yeah, I'll hone in on something. So if we go into a place, I'm like, oh, this is pretty. And then it's like laser locked. It's like, why are you looking up there? I need to go up there. I need to go up there. Oh, there are spiders. I don't need to go up there. I'm staying, but under a cloud of shame.
That's how I am with bats.
I love bats.
Oh
They are
gosh.
the sky puppies.
They're adorable as long as they're not near me.
Sky puppies. I never heard that before. That's
Sky
funny.
puppies. We went to investigate Fort Whitley. Fortunately, some people in our group were wildlife rescuers, but we found a cute little baby bat that was stuck within one of the walls. So you could just see its cute little bum and its little feet like kicking, and it was crying. So we were able to get the bat out, and we were, when you just hold this little thing that's just like squeaking, and you could see mummy bat flying around. So we took baby bat and put it up in a safe space, and it didn't want to let go. It just sort of held onto our hands, and then it sort
Aw.
of climbed up. And then mummy bat was calling. It was just, I mean, yes, the ghostly activity was amazing, but that was just wow.
Okay,
Like
maybe I might change my mind about bats.
I mean,
You're gonna label this
I
one
mean,
sky
it was
puppies.
no bigger
Listen
than
to
it was approximately like the body was this big.
Oh wow, real tiny.
Yeah, and it had cute little wings and little feet, and it was just
me.
like, and when you hold it, it was just like laying there, like oh, squeaking, and oh my god, my heart melted. It was so adorable. So we had to say thank you to our guests for helping us save this little baby bat.
That's awesome.
That was just, I mean, I think everyone was impressed by that. It was just a phenomenal experience. So yeah, you do get to bond with people in the group. So I take a little bit away from every person I interact with, and I also share when we go. When I close a circle, I always give a little bit of my light energy to every single one. So they take a bit of my protective energy with them.
Mhm.
That's
And then I
awesome.
have to recharge my spoons.
For sure. Yes, that's important.
Channeling spirits is daunting. It takes a lot of energy.
It does.
And as I said, it's not exactly like a phone line. You can just call or knock and say, hey, can so-and-so come out and play? No? Okay, fair enough. But often, and not, I mean, I've had, I think that was, yeah, my mom called to say that her brother has died. And I just knew before she called. I was like, he's dead, isn't he? And she's like, yes, he is. Uh, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just knew somehow. And when I said goodbye to my grandfather, when I mean I was there when he expired, and he didn't want to he didn't want to let go because my grandmother kept calling him back. And I figured the only way I could get him to pass on was through my brother. I have a younger brother who's a splitting image of my dad that died. And I said to my brother, can you just take grandfather's hand and can you just tell him that it's okay to let go? He needs his rest. So my brother started doing that. And at this one point, I mean, he was out of contact. You couldn't get into contact with him. But at this one moment in time, he opened his eyes and just said, yes. And then you just saw like the energy leaving his body through his head. And then there's the shiver, shake when the body finally shuts down. And then there was just a vessel left. Everything that was my grandfather was gone. Everything, he looked completely different. And that's
Incredible
because
how that goes.
it's, but that happens again. I mean, when you see the deceased, I mean, and I know that's a thing in the States, I believe you have wakes where you go to see the deceased.
Mhm.
And more often than not, they look completely different. And that's because whatever make them is gone. That's the light. So that's the first death. The light sort of leaves and returns to where it came from and sort of gets absorbed into the ether and is there for the correct energy to reintegrate. If that makes sense. It's it was challenging, but it was a privilege. Challenging, but a privilege. So yeah, been through a lot. But I
Tell
wouldn't
by
be
your
without
eyes.
it though. Because
That's what made you. Yeah, all the actions in the past is, who you are presently.
Mm.
All the information you have now is preparing for your future.
yeah, and I mean when I had my final suicide attempt, I tried to hang myself and I found the biggest freaking branch I could find, sturdiest tree, biggest rope, did everything like by the book. And then the flipping branch broke, which means I fell on my ass. The branch hit my shoulder, and I was sitting on the autumn ground, covered in mud, leaves, and rain. And I was howling at this point. I was furious. And I was just shouting obscenities and violent. Every single emotion just came out. And then I just removed the rope. And I went home, took a shower, went to bed, and woke up the next day and decided to change my life. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to try anymore. I don't give a shit. If I can't do it, I might as well just hang around. And I'm that much better for it. So, and that's why I know this is a heavy topic. And I will say what I learned from wanting to do it, don't. Reach out to help. Friend, family, stranger on the street. Reach out. Rather you say it and talk about it because it is not shameful. Just reach out. And that will also help a lot. So yeah, just thought I would throw that out there.
You got a lot to live. There's a lot of life in you. There's a reason why that happened.
Oh yeah, definitely to learn something. There is a story of a friend of mine who also is into the paranormal. So he was in a right state, and he saw this younger man come up to him and said, "Oh, can I have a light?" And so he lit his cigarette for him. And as they were smoking the cigarette, they were just talking, and they were like, "Oh, they were both waiting for the train." Well, my friend didn't know that it was for different reasons. Well, my friend kind of knew because the train came and went. They missed the train, and after they finished the cigarette, he looked at my friend and said, "You know what? I'm actually glad I missed the train." And then he left. So he was apparently planning to jump or do something silly. But he didn't, because he had someone to talk to about everything and nothing, and that conversation, that moment in time, made him miss his train and move on. So I just figured I think that was a pretty powerful uh, way and of how people influence each other and how we can help each other spiritually and personally, if that makes sense. This was in Denmark, by the way. So the Danes are strange. We're strange people.
I have never
So,
gotten emotional before on a podcast.
sorry.
No, don't be at all. But it's
You guys
funny
are meant
that
to meet each other. That's why.
I have a similar story actually. I work for a casino and I literally meet thousands of people all of the time. And it was funny that you said, people just randomly come up to you for with your problems, and I'm like, yeah, they do. There was this gentleman, he ended up taking money that didn't belong to him, and we ended up getting a hold of him basically and saying, hey, you need to take that back. So like I'm a security manager, so that's literally my job, is to go and talk to people about bad things, really. And he came to pay it back, and he goes, I don't know what came over me, but I got a stage 4 cancer diagnosis the day before, and I just didn't care anymore. He goes, my family didn't care. He goes, at least I felt like they didn't care. And, I just didn't know what to do with myself. And I sat there and I talked to him and I said, I'm happy you're here. I said, and I want you to fight. And whatever that did to him, he literally started crying, kind of like I did. And he goes, thank you so much. He goes, I don't even know what to say to you. He goes, but I'm pretty sure you just saved my life. And so stuff like that is really, it hits you
It,
different.
it does. And the problem is, again, with technology, our society has become together alone. We're together, but we're alone.
Mhm.
I mean, even when you see people around a dinner table at restaurants, they will all be tapping away at their phone. And we don't really talk. It's always, can it be done by text? Can it be done by Twitter? I think especially after COVID, we've lost the ability to communicate, and people don't want to talk. At least that's what I find in the UK. I mean, London is fantastic if you want to just disappear, but it's also very cold. I mean, people on the tube, God forbid you look at them or you look at each other or you talk. Oh my. An example was, I was taking the tube and I saw this, like, she was such a gorgeous lady, and she was wearing this yellowy dress, and it was so flattering on her. And I figured, oh, I'll compliment her. So I went up and said, sorry, this might be a bit strange, but that dress just looks amazing on you. You look really beautiful. And normal people would say, thank you. She looked at me like I escaped from Bedlam or something, or sprouted 7 heads. Like, thank you. Okay, I guess I will not try and be nice then. Fair enough. Okay, noted. Oh. And I have this thing called chance. I call it chance encounters. Sounds stupid, but I'll essentially sit on a bench. Sometimes I'll read or I'll do my knitting. And the poor soul that ever sits beside me, I will strike up a conversation with them, whether they like it or not. More often than not, they actually do engage in conversation. A bit odd, but they're like, okay, why is this weird woman talking to me? But then they sort of get into it. And just those little random conversations, they actually tend to help a lot of people because, as I said, we are together but alone. And sometimes all we need is just that little personal interaction. And those chance encounters can have a huge impact. even if you just something as basic as going to the supermarket, like that little smile or have a great day. It may mean nothing to you, but to the person that's sitting at the counter who has experienced 500 pissy little missies or Karens or vile people, that little tiny gesture that takes 30 seconds, that can just make a world difference to someone. And that's fantastic. And I think you get that more in the paranormal world because people are so open. Because we're all outcasts in our way. I mean, no one has ever looked and say, "Oh wow, that is absolutely normal." There's a reason we call it paranormal.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I mean, even my coworkers made fun of me when they found it. They were like, "Oh my god, what if you get possessed by a demon?" And I'm like, "I teach secondary English in a Catholic school. Good luck. It's not gonna happen." I mean, yes, please come have my body for 48 hours. See how you like it.
That's
I mean,
great.
if there was such a thing as demons, they would flee. They'd be like, nope, nope, nope.
Oh no.
No. I mean, that's the great thing about the place I work at. There is just an innate sense of kindness. I mean, the students are well behaved, they're kind, they're helpful, and they're respectful.
There you go.
No,
And
that's
I think
awesome.
that comes from a nurturing environment as well. They're silly buggers. Of course they are. They're teenagers. They're grouchy. They're teenagers, yes. But they're just so kind.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping that we can have more of that in the world
Me too.
and embrace the paranormal.
That's the important part.
Yeah, no, because I mean, yeah, it is still very popular, but there's also a lot of silliness with it.
Right.
And because you have a lot of people, YouTubers like fake it for likes or not being respectful to the venues, and you're sort of like, great. I mean, not to speak ill of the dead, but a great example is a guy called Derek Akora. His shenanigans set back paranormal investigations a lot.
Hmm.
Like the fake possessions and all that.
Right.
It it just makes it very, very silly. And he was ridiculed for it, and it was proven that he was faking. And that just it just gives it a bad reputation. So that's why when we host events, we always say we facilitate, we don't participate. Because that way your experiences is your experiences. And we have nothing to do with it. Do you guys only investigate as a team or do you host events as well?
Well, we'll be hosting our first event next month.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. It's a place that I've personally never been to before though, so I'll be doing my own investigating, but Kevin did get the opportunity to go there for a little while. So he's been there one time, I think, right once.
Just one time, yeah.
Yeah, once before. So
Oh,
yeah,
well, the main thing is to have fun.
oh yeah, we all the time. We can never not have fun.
Yeah, yeah. Laughter is definitely part of our MO, I guess, if you
Yes.
want to. Yeah, and we enjoy it.
And
We
also,
enjoy. Go ahead.
and I feel that always remember the 3 R's: respect for each other, respect for the venue, respect for the spirits. And
Absolutely.
they're guaranteed a phenomenal investigation.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we preach that to everybody that we come in contact with, even if they do the same things we do. Respect is important.
And also maybe put a warning in on on some of the gadgets, especially the spirit talker.
Oh,
Um, and so this was actually a ghost hunt we were at a guest. I mean, I have a feeling some of the guests, the lady in question was a bit inebriated, maybe.
oh
So she
dear.
had I think it's called an Alice box, and it was coming out with these random words, and she's like, "Oh my god, my husband is cheating on me," And she was just convinced because we kept asking, and the spirit box kept giving randomly generated words, but it made sense to her. And
Oh
before I
boy.
knew it, she put the spirit box down and she was wailing like a banshee and ran up. She was going to have a word with her husband. And I was like, no, 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 no. Wait, please, please don't. Not based on the spirit box. That poor guy.
Oh dear.
That poor gentleman. I mean, I can only imagine the conversation. Oh God. It's like, you can't intervene. That's hers. It's like, yeah, but she's about to break up a marriage based on a random word generator. Really?
Fair. That is, yeah, very true.
He's not picking up his phone. He could be in the loo, he could be out, he could be busy. I'm pretty sure it's not glued to his hand. But yeah, she just worked herself up based on this little purple spirit box.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was my words. I said, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is... And I just looked at my husband and I was like, thank you. It's like, for what? For just being you. For just being here.
Definitely makes you appreciate things when others go AWOL.
It does. Um, also, sometimes when I don't know why, but sometimes it comes up on my phone, like these reality TVs, like My Mother and I, where you see teenagers and their dysfunctional relationships with their mother, where you're like, the mom's weirder than the kid. And I
Yeah.
just want to call my mom and say, I love you, mommy. Thank you for being normal. Thank you for raising me. Um, So that was just a way of like where paranormal investigations can go haywire. I mean, oh, the face, the lady's face, priceless but scary. And that again, that poor gentleman, he's not gonna know what hit him.
Aw.
Feel so sorry for him. Like, oh boy. Yeah. So you will have that, and that's so funny.
Well,
I was like,
fortunately, they're all paranormal investigators themselves, so hopefully we won't have any drama like that. We're actually
oh,
doing
that's good at least.
collaborations with a couple other teams, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, oh, that's amazing. At least, I mean, well, people who go on these on our events, at least, some of them have an interest. Others are sometimes we will be joined by other paranormal teams that
Mhm.
don't host event. They just want to go on events, so they usually get put in a group and they can go do their own investigations in a vigil, where we're just there because of insurance purposes. We can't let them go off on their own as such.
Right.
But it's a good thing to work together and sort of like share the tickets because
Oh
some of
yeah.
these places can be quite expensive to hire out.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. What is it? I think Oxford Castle, for instance, which is a very popular venue. I think that's like £1,200 to rent,
Oh,
which is
that's
a lot
just a
of
lot,
money.
even in general.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's a phenomenal location, phenomenal building, but it's steep. So you need to make sure you can sell all the tickets. And because there are some venues that are overused and oversold, it's difficult to sell tickets to.
Right.
So that's also something when you start event companies that you have to be mindful of. I mean, as much as I love hosting, I do prefer to just be in a small team to investigate.
Right.
Um,
Well, yeah.
we did my haunted hotel up in Chester, which was really, really fun, but majority of the guests have never done a ghost hunt before. So we were sort of the seasoned pros, so we could take lead. And they have room 8. There's supposedly holds the most haunted doll in the UK, called Grace, which is funny because there's another most haunted doll in a different location. So yeah, don't know how that works, but heyo. But before you go into roommate, you have to read out the set of rules, and it's very, very active. It was creepy, but that was mainly the religious iconography from my point. And like, okay, so who wants to go into roommate alone? And I was like, okay, I'll go. I don't mind. It's like, oh, that's so brave. It's okay, you can say stupid. And then and then they were like, oh, if she goes, I'll go as well. Okay, more the merrier. Off we went. It was cool. A
So
bit
I
creepy
guess,
when we,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, a bit creepy when I was woken up about 5:30 with someone whistling in my face. And it
Oh,
wasn't my husband because he was sleeping with the back to me. And it was like, excuse me, I'm in my nightie here. Would you please have some respect? Um,
so I guess and I really hate to cut you short because I'm really enjoying this, but I know it's also very late there. Our final thing that we usually do for the podcast episodes is telling us a ghost story. So would you be willing to tell us a ghost story? Can be anything.
oh yeah, we have so many. I think the does it have to be one I experienced personally
No,
or
just a ghost
Mm.
story.
So there is this cemetery where I'm from that is supposedly very haunted, and if you cross it after midnight, you sort of hear little like tink tink tink, like the tiniest little drum. And when you hear that, you run because that's the little drummer boy. So during the First World War, soldiers would use little boys that would sort of be drummer boys to hold the pace and inspire them. Now, legend has it that there was a group of smugglers that hit a very, very large shipment in the cemetery. Because they heard it was haunted, they wanted to use that legend. So they found a little boy that was willing. They paid him a shilling equivalent. They painted him in fluorescent paint. And whenever he heard people come, he would sort of like beat the drum. Unfortunately, that paint was very toxic, and the little boy ended up dying.
Oh, no.
Now, legend has it that if you cross around that area of the cemetery, you will see the little boy. He's all like beating his drum, still trying to chase away uninvited guests. And one time, some boys they wanted to test this legend, and they were chased away by the old gravedigger. And as a revenge, they wanted to mess around with the gravedigger. So they got a hold of some fluorescent paint and painted one of their friends and sort of like to scare the gravedigger. And they succeeded because the boy started to beat his drum, and the gravedigger got really scared, so he had a heart attack and died.
Oh my God.
Yeah, here's where it gets weird because obviously the boys, and they were about 11 years old, they were afraid they would get in trouble. So they leg it out of there. But at that point, as they're putting down their props, they hear the same drumming sound closer and closer. There's no one in the vicinity. It's just the beating of the drum. No birds, no sound other than that slow, steady beating of the drum. And one of the boys turns around, and that was the boy that was painted in fluorescent paint. And he sees this little drummer boy, an exact image of himself, is coming towards him. Now, of course, he gets scared, so he legs it. And when he comes home, he calls his friend because outside his window at 3 o'clock, he heard the drumming again. He looks out, and there was the little drummer boy outside his window looking in. And the next morning, they found the boy in the cemetery, still in his pajamas, still covered in paint,
Oh,
with the drum next to him. But not a new drum. This was an actual World War One drum that was worn, that was beaten. And every night you will see the new boy drumming his drum, nice, steady, peaceful. Now he needs a replacement. So if you're in the vicinity, don't look at him. Walk away slowly. And whatever you do, don't look back until you are at least 100 feet from the cemetery. And you cannot hear the drum anymore. Otherwise, you're next.
that's creepy.
That's a good ghost story right there.
Oh, yeah, that's a fantastic
I have
ghost story.
loads of those.
A good one.
There's a haunted farm as well, where I actually used to have my horse. It's burnt down twice. Second time they didn't bother rebuilding it. No horses were happening. And you could get the horses out fine. Getting them back into the stables, that was a challenge. I mean, even my horse, who was really, really well behaved, refused to go into her stable. The dog wouldn't go in there. There were no mice, no stable cats, no nothing. Earlier that day, a stable hand was pushed down the ladder, and that was a solid ladder, like it was made from tree trunks, and it fell backwards, like someone pushed it. Anyway, so no one liked going in there, but I had to evening feed, and this was again around November. I think it was late November. Yeah, it must have been because it was after they just finished redecorating. So that November, I was walking around, I was feeding the horses, and they started to get really agitated. And behind me, I just heard these like heavy footsteps. And you know, like that 40 a day chain smoker. And I heard that behind me. And I'm just thinking, oh, it's probably the owner. So I turn around, like, yes. And there was no one there. And they couldn't have hid behind the hay barrels or anything. And I was like, okay, this is odd. I'm going to pretend it doesn't happen. And I'm just going to continue on with my feeding. And as I'm reaching out to my my horse, she just recoils from me and like starts to shake her mane and like knee really like. And then I just get ice cold again. And I mean, I'm 15 at the time, so I was starting to get in tune with it. And I just got ice cold, and I could feel that pipe smoke or cigar smoke, that that sweet thing, a really, really overpowering. And I felt someone standing right behind me, like it was a real person. I was convinced, but there was nothing when I turned around. But I could still feel that energy with me. So I finished the feed, locked the feeding shack, and I went up to the main gate and I was like, what the hell are you pulling here? Like, it's not funny. Halloween is in October. And the wife was there and she's like, husband has been out all day. He's not home until tomorrow. No one was in the stables with you. Well, there was someone, there was no one. But yet you could see in the muddy part where we sort of like have mucked out and the leftover muck, you could see footprints that weren't there when I came in. There were no footprints when I started, and it wasn't my footprints because I was wearing riding boots. These were wellies. And I did not want to go back into that stable, so I found a different venue, and nothing ever happened. And then about 6 months later, it burned down the second time, and there was no explanation as to why it burned down. I mean, we thought it was a moldy hay barrel, anything. No explanation was found. They checked all the hay barrels, any sign of arson. There was no sign of arson. It just came out of nowhere. No electrical faults, no nothing. And we
Wow.
still don't know to this day. So they never bothered to rebuild it. I've been to the site of the burned down barn, and it is the weirdest feeling. It's like a vortex that pulls you in of negative energy. And it's just, I don't think I've ever cycled that fast in my life, to be honest. That was just, let's get out of here. So yeah,
Oh,
there's a
wow.
few.
Yeah, thank you so much for those. Those are
Those are good
freaking
ones.
awesome stories.
And you're welcome. And this was a great joy. I think this is the first time I've ever done an international podcast.
Like I
So
said in the
thank
beginning, it's our first one too.
This
So.
is this is better than like any scary movie I ever seen. I've been on the edge of my seat for your whole time you were talking.
Oh, yeah, this has been incredible. I mean, if you ever want to do it again, please feel
Oh,
free to reach out.
yeah, I'm always open. I mean, I love to chat. You guys are so amazing. You're so sweet.
Well,
I
thanks.
always feel like I almost feel like a kinship.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. Well,
And if you're ever in the UK, I mean, give me a shout. We have plenty of room.
well, crap, I
And
might just make a plan anyways.
we live in the gorgeous uh, county of Wiltshire. So we live in Glastonbury from December. And we have this beautiful house next to Glastonbury, 10 minutes from the center. Very, very haunted and haunting.
Sure.
So
Where can we find any of your team, your paranormal team? Like you mentioned a few of the
um,
teams. Are you
yes,
on
so
TikTok with them?
I don't know if Paranormal Presence is on TikTok, but Paranormal Presence Investigations are on Facebook and Instagram. Haunted Shadows are also on Instagram, and they have a TikTok and they have Facebook.
Okay. Is there any
Um,
certain video that you want to point out that maybe you're involved in or?
I have my own videos from investigations I've done with Paranormal Presence. It's on my Instagram, Paranormal Endeavors.
Okay. All righty.
Um, so there are some cat ball videos, some laser grids, some cool pictures.
Mhm.
Yeah, two adults getting super excited over a cat toy that's blinking. It's not as sad as it sounds.
Yeah.
It is actually pretty cool because it's happening, you know, you're like, oh.
It is neat. I mean, we get just as giddy over cat balls, so it's totally understandable here.
Personally, I like the flashlights. When I get
Mhm.
flashlight action off a
Oh
mag
yeah, the
light.
little Mac lights. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh, I
yep.
love the
Yes and
Mac
no
light.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That excites me pretty well.
And a great little tip. Have you had any luck with EVP?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So
Yeah, we
when we
record.
did,
It's just
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah,
So
we
when
got
we went to,
some. We got a few.
oh, amazing. It was a great trick I actually picked up from Shrewsbury. So we wanted to get a recording done, and they called out to the spirit. And they were like, right, spirit, if you are here on the count of 3, can you please say the word banana? And so she counted out like 3, 2, 1, and then she let the recorder run for a while. And we played it back, and you can clearly hear on the audio like the harsh phonetic there was an actual voice that said banana, or at least I mean that
Mhm,
is I think that's the best EVP I've heard. So yeah,
mhm,
I find if you're really, really specific with what you want the spirits to do, it gets a lot more.
mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I got one last
final thought.
question for you. I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious about this one. Can your spirit guide, can he or she, of course, um, appear to you and can you interact with them as far as like I have a scenario, another scenario that I'm going to run across you. Say you were going to take a selfie with a camera or a cell phone. Can your spirit guide hold the phone and take a picture of you?
No, he can't be. He can't. He cannot physically pick up a phone.
Okay.
The energy is not that strong.
Yep.
But he is there. He can affect electrical equipment. He's always with me. He has a very dry sense of humor. As we were driving down to Glastonbury, it was my turn to drive, and I said, "Oh, I hope one day I will have the confidence to drive these narrow roads with 60 miles an hour like everyone else." And then I heard in my ear, like from my spirit guide, "Ugh, I hope not." I was like, okay, fair enough. And if I'm about to do stupid shit, I just hear in the back of my head like, Liebchen, was machen Sie? Sorry. He's like, what are you doing? So
That's awesome.
She's good.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's real good.
But no, in order to pick up an object physically and take a picture, like that kind of interaction cannot be done. There isn't enough energy to
No, I
make
understand.
that kind.
Yeah.
I mean, if it can be done, if someone. Oh wait, we did have a phone that took a picture on its own. I need to find out how that works. That was creepy. So she was just sitting with her phone in her lap, and all of a sudden you just hear like a, and her phone took a picture, and it was a picture of me. And when you zoom in on it, on the back, you can sort of see a figure that is sitting there. It looks like she has something on her lap. Now, the funny part was in the basement on the first video, we had a female mannequin doll, and I put Casper the Holy Cow, which is my Rempot cow, and I put her in her lap. Yeah, he was named by some guests. Okay, he's a Highland. I have a thing for Highland cows. They're cute. So yeah, he's Casper the Holy Cow.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
I thought it was freaky. So I mean, I'm still working on how a phone can take a picture on its own. I don't know, but I was watching her fingers, and they were nowhere near the screen. She was just sitting. It was just laying in her lap, and then the picture got snapped. So that was weird. So if you know technology or know someone who has an explanation, yes, yes, please, because it is itching in my brain.
Yeah, I supposedly got a friend that his mom, who's passed, uses his phone to send him text messages. He falls asleep with the phone, and then he wakes up and it's messages from his mom. So I think that's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah. Oh, in that sense, yeah, they can manipulate. I've not had that experience because Albert is he's an older gentleman, so he's not really into technology. But he does pop up in various instances where you're like, where you really, really don't need his advice. Like, really? Now? No. Yeah? Nein. Okay. What do you want? Be careful. I know. And then he's always like, I'm going. It's like, no, I'm staying. Fine. But he's always right.
Yeah, they typically are.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're up for it at some point, maybe I don't know how it works over phone, but I could try and give you the guided meditation and take you to a place where you could connect with spirits.
I'm down. Well, we can. I don't know if Kevin is, but I'll be in contact with you.
Yeah, she's braver than I am. She can teach me, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go. I might not come back.
Oh, you will come back.
Oh,
Because I'm taking you to a sanctuary, which is still your experience, but it's within my control. So my guide will be there, and I will be there to pull you back. So it's
sounds
completely safe. It's completely safe. Some people,
We will
most
be in
people,
contact.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. I mean,
amazing conversation.
Yes.
Amazing. I appreciate it more than you can believe right now. Very interesting talk with you.
especially with how
And
late it is
likewise.
over there.
So yeah, it's gonna be great. And yeah, I may come across a bit weird, but as you've seen, it's legit. I'm not that much of a kook. There is actually some legitimacy to what I do.
Yep.
You got to be a little weird to be in the paranormal.
Indeed. So, but yeah, for videos and updates on haunts, paranormal presence investigations on Facebook and YouTube and probably TikTok as well, and haunted shadows. Or just go to my Instagram, Paranormal Endeavors. Um, it's a picture of my lower face in black and white. So
Okay.
I upload videos there of ghost hunts, of meditation, of spell work. So anything related to the supernatural or paranormal, I upload there.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
So thank you for
Well,
having me. And I don't know what to type, but once it gets nighttime with you, I hope you have a great night.
Alrighty.
Thank you. It
Thank you
is
so very much.
so great talking with you, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions off the podcast, I mean, feel free to reach out. I'll try and help the best I can.
I
Okay,
appreciate that.
gotcha.
Thank you so much. Same goes for you.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you end it and
Okay.
I can ask her another question?
Yeah. All right, we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
We're gonna
record it.
sign off.
1 second. All right, bye
Yeah,
everybody.
Bye.
bye.
You stay there though.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.